Hello and welcome back to the Devlog series for my 2D survival horror game, Never Forgotten. Last week I playtested the game and gave a little bit of insight behind some of the design choices. Of course I've been working towards finishing the demo in the time since the last devlog, but much of that time has been spent writing. I've been going through each chapter of the game and refining the narrative that's there, as well as adding additional polish where I feel it's needed. I just finished up the plan for refining the content in Chapter 2, so that's where we'll be starting today. On top of that, there's some artwork that needs to be redone for Chapter 1. Anyways, on to the plan. Alrighty, so once again, we back at the Trello board, my favorite place in the whole wide world, and of course, there's not a day that doesn't go by where this list doesn't get bigger. So for Chapter 2, some small things I could do include adding a few more guiding lights around the level, as well as placing an additional slab, placing one at the end of the yard puzzle. I also need to rewrite a lot of the current dialogue. And finally, I'll need to redo the barren land of flesh background artwork. Alrighty, let's get to it then. Alrighty, so to begin with, we're going to be adding more guiding lights to the second chapter, which are these things. I'm going to be adding two to this section right here. One at the start, and then one that's going to be visible at the end of the level. Okay, so now the main thing we gotta do is we just gotta make it so this one gets unlocked. So now we can just plop that in there, and so now when we beat the puzzle, this thing gets unlocked, which makes sense. It does what we need it to do. Okay, we can go ahead and cross that off the list now. Okay, so now we need to add another one of these slabs here at the end of the level. Alrighty, now this tablet is set up, so now that once the puzzle is complete, it appears, and that is now saved, even though it doesn't even really need to be saved, but I set it up with that system anyways. Okay, so now we're gonna have to go through and do a lot of writing, which I'm to go ahead and get started on this. So to begin with, we're gonna start by rewriting the item names and descriptions. Alrighty, I am back. I haven't finished yet, but I went a little overboard, and that mechanic I was talking about that I was thinking of implementing, I implemented it. So essentially all it does, there can be several descriptions for items, and that changes depending on the amount of essence the player has. It was a sporadic idea I had when I was writing the story. It was just, oh hey, what if item descriptions change depending on how much essence the player has to further reflect player choice. Just check that off now. Now it's time for the interaction dialogue, which is going to take much more time. Time to go do that. Yeah, fun. Alrighty, so Jesus Christ, that took a while. I just finished up rewriting all of the interaction dialogue for all the interact objects in the first chapter, and that included going through and changing some of the hard-coded text. I think I'm gonna move on to the artwork after I do some testing here. Okay, so now on to the redone art. Okay, so I just quickly drew up a concept since I didn't have like one on my computer. I only had it drawn out on paper. Not to go too much in detail here, but you go from like a skyscraper, then you go here, then you go then you go through here, then you go over here. And then there's stuff over here that I have not shown. Or not drawn, I should say. I'll just start with this concept and get going. I went ahead and made a few adjustments, the main just being that now it's kind of framed a bit differently. So yeah, that's going to be it for now. Transition to outro. Yes. Alrighty, so that's it for this week's devlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks again for watching all the way to the end of the video. I got something special cooked up for next week, so if you're interested in seeing what that is, consider subscribing and following me on Twitter. Also, the best way to support me is to wishlist the game on Steam. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could do that. Thanks. Anyways, that's it. and I'll see you all next week.